What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Vets Help. Thank y'all for watching my videos once again. We're here with another one. I just want to say first and foremost, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Today is November the 25th. We just got finished with the Thanksgiving holiday. As you can see, your boy is over here getting chunky a little bit, but hey, I hope you all had the opportunity to get home and see some loved ones, or have some loved ones come and see you. Just remember to be thankful for the season. Just be thankful for everything that you have. For one, life is short. Make sure that you spend a lot of time with your loved ones, your family, because you never know, and God forbid anything happens, but you never know. From 1 second, you might have somebody and then you might not. With that being said, I'd like to, just give a tribute to my aunt. I wasn't really meaning to do this part here in this video, but, this is something that I've started doing with the YouTube channel. And, it's been good for me. It's been an outlet for me to be able to help so many people, to be able to help so many people and really express myself in a way that's a lot different than what I'm used to. But the more I'm able to help others, the more impactful it has been for my life to see the impact that it's having on you all. So I want to make this video as a tribute to my aunt. My aunt actually passed today, and it's a really tough time for me and my family. I lost my dad back in 2021, and it was really tough. This was his only living sibling left. So, one of the closest things I had to him, and, that memory will live on through me, and I'll continue to push through it. So like I said, make sure that you all love your family, love on your family, because you never know from 1 second to the next, if you'll have that person or if you won't. So, just keep my family in your thoughts and your prayers, and I do appreciate it. I just want to give a moment of silence. Thank you for sharing that with me. I just want to get into this video and start by saying that, I've been receiving tons, and I always say this in every video, but it's very important, that you guys send your comments, because that helps me to continue to dig into my process, different things and different ways. And in no way am I a member of the VA. Am I a attorney or medical provider in any sort of way, or any sort of help with VA ratings and anything like that? But I find it, it's really how can I say it? I find it really honorable, you know, for myself, whenever I have people that reach out to me and they ask me different questions about, you know, what they can expect. And I take that with, you know, a lot of importance. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you all the right information. So that's why I say I don't work for the VA. I don't, in no way do I assist with VA ratings. Do I, you know, work in any of that? You know what I mean? So I just want to put that out there. But at the same time, I am a veteran and a former service member who have went through the medical evaluation board process, and I've been able to assist a lot of others in their process as they've gotten out, just giving them advice, you know. And advice is very helpful. I know that, you know, as you go through the med board and stuff like that, sometimes they'll tell you, don't listen to your friends, don't listen to this person, because, you know, everybody's process is not the same, which they are absolutely correct. Everybody's process is not the same. No, you know, even if, you know, we both get out at the same time, your process might be totally different than mine, which is perfectly correct. That's correct. However, you know, we tend to have that trust in our battle buddies on the line, you know, that can relay information or give us tips or things that happened on their process to help us to make ours different. Well, not to make ours different, but to help us through ours, to, you know, because at the end of the day, when you're going through this process, it's just a bunch of thoughts going through your mind. And me as a husband and a father of 2 children going through this process, looking at transition, looking at life, you know, what things are going to look like after I get out of the military. It was very nerve-wracking for me. It was very nerve-wracking for me, you know. And I honestly, I started this really, I said, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video through every part of the process. I'm going to make a video and then I'm going to push it out. And then by the end of it, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk to him and I'm going to give it to him. You know, I don't know. That was really raw. It was really raw. It was just really raw. But, you know, I felt like that was the best way that I could give it to you. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Let me just start the channel and, you know, kind of back up a little bit and make sure that, you know, like I'm able to settle down, because through a lot of it was a lot of emotion. There's a lot going on. But yeah, you know, nonetheless, the emails that you all have been sending has been helping to keep this going. And there was a message that was sent, man, it's in the comment on my last video that I made. And I'm not going to say the name because I don't know if the person want to be, you know, but you know who you are. You know, if you're watching this video, you know who you are. They asked a question, and it was today actually. And you know what I said? You know what? I got a lot on my mind, you know, and I need something positive to help. I need a positive coping mechanism right now that I can do, you know, that I can use in order to help relieve myself of what I'm dealing with today. So it's a little bit therapy too, really. And yeah, so the question was about an exam. It was about a general exam. So and I wasn't sure if the person was meaning as far as like the exam for the VA or for the medical evaluation board. But I felt like it was more so regarding the medical evaluation board. And, you know, hey, if you want to, you know, in a future video, I'll make a video talking about, oh, if you're interested and you want to know, like, oh, what's the general exam, what's the initial exam for the VA? I'll make another video talking about the exam for the VA as well. But as far as the general exam, let's talk about the general exam for the medical evaluation board. All right. So for the medical evaluation board, once you get to the process of talking to your MSC, which is your military service coordinator, which is the person that's going to intake all of your claims, you're going to get a list of different appointments that you're going to have to attend. Okay. One of those appointments is going to be a general medical exam. This general medical exam is going to be a medical exam like whenever you went to MEPS. Okay. They're going to check you from head to toe, check all your range of motion, your joints. They're going to ask you a series of questions. Okay. It's going to be a lot. This is going to be your longest exam, depending on what you have. But for me, let's keep it from my perspective. Like I said, I'm not a medical provider. I'm not none of that. I'm just talking to you from my own perspective. Okay. So let's keep it from my perspective. For me, my general medical exam was the longest of my exams. And I think mine took maybe 2 hours or so. Might have been a little more. For the general medical exam, like I said, again, they're going to check you from head to toe, and they're going to look at range of motion of all your joints. They're supposed to use a instrument called a barometer, and this is supposed to check your range of motion. If you ever went to physical therapy, matter of fact, let me see something real quick here. If you ever went to physical therapy, then they probably used this on you before. It's an instrument to check your range of motion. When I was in physical therapy, I was I went to physical therapy for my knee, because I had 3 knee surgeries, but after, I'll just talk about my latest one. Well, actually, I'll go back to the second one, and y'all understand in a second. After my second knee surgery, I lost a lot of range of motion that they thought that I was supposed to be able to gain back. Bear with me, I'm sorry. I'm talking, but I'm trying to pull something up here as well. They thought that I was going to be able to gain back, but I didn't. So through the physical therapy, I was doing physical therapy for 4 weeks, and they were using a, let's make sure I got this right. Give me 1 second, guys. I might have quoted the wrong thing. Give me 1 second. Physical therapy. It's called a, hang on. Let me make sure I say this right. Jesus. It's a gonometer. Jesus. Pronunciation.
Goniometer.
Goniometer. That's what it's called. That took a little while. It's called a goniometer, is what they use. I don't know why I said barometer, thinking about some fishing or something. But yeah, it's called a goniometer, is what they use to measure range of motion. Sorry about that. But the tool basically, it'll, for me, when I was going through physical therapy, they expected that I would have a certain range of motion that I would get back to, and I didn't. So I had to go through a second procedure, where they took me back into the surgery room, put me under anesthesia, and started yanking at my leg. Yeah, that was some crazy stuff. But yeah, they took me back in there and they started doing that and tried to gain back the range of motion. Unfortunately, it didn't really come back too much, so, but hey, it's worth the try, but with your joints, everybody, you have, going through the process, you're going to have different things that's bothering you, different medical conditions. And, they want to check your range of motion in your shoulders and your elbows, your wrist, all of that stuff. They check everything. If you have any pain during that time, if you come in there and you're like, hey, I don't feel well, I'm not feeling good, then that'll be the time to say it. Don't go in there like, oh yeah, I'm Iron Man, I feel good, I feel fine. No, if you're not feeling fine, then say that. Okay. The question that was asked to me was, what should I expect, during this exam? Okay. You should expect to be there for hours talking to a doctor and making sure that you pour everything out on the table. That's what you should expect. You should expect to know more about yourself that day than you've ever known about yourself every other day. If you have pain in your eyes, whatever hurts, you need to make sure that you say that. Okay. They're going to be checking not just your joints, they're going to be checking scars. They're going to be, taking your vitals and all of that stuff. For example, vitals. If you have high blood pressure, they're going to be checking that. They're going to be asking you about your blood pressure. So what I want to do is I want to get you all prepared for this exam. All right. So what you want to do when you go into this exam is make sure that you have a list. You have a list of stuff that's wrote down. For me, this is what I did. This is what made it helpful for me. I had a list of different things that was going on that I wrote down, because I'm telling you, if you have a lot of stuff, a lot of different conditions or different things, and it might not, like the conditions that you have may not always bother you every single day, but it seems like every year around this time, or every few months around this, around after this happens, this is how I feel. You want to make sure that you talk about that. For example, like I said, when they do your vitals, a lot of us service members, we get diagnosed with stuff like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, whatever, right? What you want to make sure that you do, if you have high blood pressure, you want to make sure that you calculate the average of your blood pressure for at least a week or a month, or however long you've been calculating it, leading up to that appointment. So when you go in there, you'll have that with you, and you'll say that, hey, you can speak to your blood pressure being high. Say that, hey, I've been diagnosed with high blood pressure. This right here has been my blood pressure readings. This is the average of my blood pressure readings over the course of a week. This is the average over the course of a month. My blood pressure typically gets high around these points. I've been focusing on my diet, blah, 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 whatever, you'll focus on that, and, just different things. But make sure that it's helpful to bring notes based on your medical conditions. Nobody know you more than yourself, okay? Nobody know you more. And this person is a doctor, yeah, But at the same time, they're only seeing you in a small window. 2 hours may be a long time for you to sit there and it's like, man, I got to talk about everything that I got going on another time, through this process. I got to talk about everything that I have going on through this process for another time to someone and explain everything to them. Yes, you do, unfortunately, but understand this too. Don't beat around the bush. Don't sugarcoat nothing, and make sure that you're completely honest about everything that you have going on with you, whether it's embarrassing, or whatever. It doesn't matter. If it's going on, it's going on, and that doctor doesn't know you from a can of paint. Okay, they only know whatever they have in front of them, and that's what they're there to see. And they're there to see the extent to which it's severe, the impression of it, how it bothers you, and write their notes. Okay. So just know that you're in a very small window for them. They don't know you. They don't know you. They don't know nothing about you. Only thing they know is what you tell them. Okay. So they see you in a small window. You deal with yourself every day, and so does your family members. So if you're just trying to get out of there, you owe it to your family members to make sure that you get what you need in order to make life not only better for yourself, but better for them. Think about the people that matter to you. And if you're single, hey, think about the rest of your life. Think about the rest of your life, okay? It might not always be that way. You might not always be single. But even if you are always single, this is the rest of your life, regardless. When I say single, I mean you're not married, okay? You don't have kids or anything like that. But think about the rest of your life. Think about, hey, look, if I don't tell somebody today, then when will I? You don't want to be laying up in the hospital for this stuff. You really don't. But at the end of the day, you are already at the point right now through a medical exam, going through a medical evaluation board, whether you want to be here or not, unfortunately. So make sure you get the help that you need for you. Health as well. Bringing a list of different things to assist through this exam is going to be, it can be very helpful. That's what I did, because I wanted to make sure that I was able to speak to everything. For example, right? This right here is a very good example. I started having migraines. Back in 2018, maybe 2018, around 2018, 2019. I had to go and see a lot of different doctors. They didn't know what was going on. I had a cyst in my sinus, and this right here, I found out that I had a cyst in my sinus. This right here went on for a while. Now, going back, because I have to go back to after I deployed from 2015 to 2016. I was deployed. When I came back from deployment, I went on. I went to a training exercise up in Indiana, and when I was there, it was during the winter time, and I know that I had this weird cough or whatever, and I thought that it was just like every time around the same time of year this happens. They related this stuff back to that, right? Now, that was in 2018, 2019, right? So when I was in Indiana, like I said, I started having this real bad cough. I had a real bad cough. Didn't know what was the cause of it. I came home, you know, around the same time a year. I always got it. So I'm just like, man, it's dealing with like my sinus issues, or, you know, I just get this cold and everything, right? So I thought, you know, I didn't know until I was in this process what was actually going on. So when I came home, I was still coughing for like months. I was coughing for months. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I went to medical. At the time, I was stationed at Fort Lee, now Fort Greg Adams, and I went to Kenner, and you know, they thought that I had pneumonia. Come to find out, thank God, I did not have pneumonia, but they thought I had pneumonia, and I never got a diagnosis. That's another thing. Make sure that you get your diagnosis, okay? Make sure diagnoses are so important to find out what's going on, so whenever you get to this point in your process, you already have, if you have stuff that you've been diagnosed with previously, you can let the doctor know. It's very important. I don't remember ever getting a diagnosis. I just remember them giving me medication and, you know, hoping that it goes away. So eventually I stopped coughing, but, you know, every year, you know, like I started having trouble breathing and coughing a lot. So I went through this process. I ended up getting a second, not a second, but I ended up getting, through my general medical exam, they ended up deciding that they were going to send me for a pulmonary functions test, because I remembered this and I wrote it down and I told them about it, and I said that, look, this will last for months. It happens for a long time, right? Don't you know that when I actually got out and I seen my ratings, on my ratings, I had obstructive lung disease. I was diagnosed with obstructive lung disease, and this dates back to that time. And I didn't never know through the time that I was in the Army that I had obstructive lung disease. That's how serious this is, right? That's how serious this is. I did not know that. So the entire time, yeah, that was what was going on. So make sure that you write your stuff down, and this right here, this right here was from deployment. This was not even from 2019 or nothing. This was totally separate, but they, you know, through that, it was a bunch of different things. I never really got completely diagnosed with what the heck was really going on, right? But on another note, with that, the obstructive lung disease was a combat-related special compensation worthy condition, because I had been diagnosed with it, and it was as a result of deployment. So I was able to, and if you don't know what combat-related special compensation is, then, you know, we could talk a little bit more about that. I won't be able to tell you about the calculation, nothing like that. If you've already looked into it, I can't tell you about those numbers because I don't know how they go as far as calculating it. But I know that I did end up getting combat-related special compensation paid for obstructive lung disease as one condition. And that's something that I didn't know that I had. And like I said, it warranted a completely new exam for me. So I'm glad that it did. And I, you know, because I was telling them about the coughing and stuff like that and what was going on. And that's what they found out. So making sure that you write everything down and take your notes is going to be important. They're not only going to ask you about your physical ailments, they're going to ask you about mental health stuff, and all of that as well. I remember getting asked about acid reflux, irritable bowel. I remember getting asked about, just a lot of things concerning my mental health. What else can I think of? I remember, I got asked about migraines. I got asked about, have I ever been seen for this, or have I ever been seen for that, whatever. Just a lot of different things. So throughout your military career, and I know for some of you that's been in a lot longer, it might be hard to think back to, and it might be helpful to talk to family members, about some different things for this exam, what life for them is like, like if you're married, you have a spouse, and they say that they wear earplugs to bed at night because you snore really loud, then talk about that. You're going to be in this exam by yourself. You're not going to have anybody there with you. Matter of fact, I don't know if you can even bring anybody with you. I'm not sure. But just know that, make sure that if you're in there for 2 hours, you make that 2 hours useful. You tell them about every single thing under the sun that you can freaking think of. If your pinky toe hurt, you make sure that you tell them about it. You had surgery, they're gonna be looking at scars and stuff like that, from surgical scars. If you don't have numbness in to where you can't feel anything from that, they're gonna ask about that stuff. They're gonna ask about a wide variety of different things. So just make sure that, it's not the time. It is not the time to sit there and to say that, yeah, I'm doing great today. I'm doing great today, if you're not doing great. All right. I do appreciate you all again for watching my videos. If you have more questions on this topic, or you need more clarity on something, or you have a special case regarding this particular exam, I'll try my best to answer your questions. Thank you all again. And once again, make sure that, through this time, through this weekend, and, through the holidays, that you're reaching out to family members, checking on them, making sure that they're good to go, and making sure that you taking care of yourself. Make sure that you take care of yourself. I know that, if you are watching this video and you're going through the medical evaluation board, that you're getting a little anxious, or you've already been, and I hope that these videos can be, a little light at the end of your tunnel, or just a little therapy for you throughout your day, to help to settle those uneasy thoughts that you can't help but have. Once again, it's always a pleasure to get your questions. It's always a pleasure to be able to assist in any way that I can. You all have a good rest of your day and continue to stay blessed.